So back to accepting praise. So give praise, accept praise, especially to your kids. A lot of kids are suffering from depression now. And I've heard this, that one of the reasons is because they don't get enough praise from, especially from their parents and their teachers. Encourage them, for goodness sake. Yeah, you all want them to do really, really well at school, but you know, only half of the kids can be above average intelligence. That's an old trick we used to do, giving public talks. How many people, can you be really absolutely honest? I want you to be very, very honest. How many people in this room honestly believe they're above average intelligence? Put your hand up. Come on, how many are above average intelligence? Put your hand up. How many people? Now come be honest. I mean, you all believe you're above average intelligence, don't you? But only half of you can be. Honest, only half can be above average. The other half have to be below average. That's just law, that's dharma, that's nature. So this is just an average group of people over here. So half of you in this room are below average intelligence. Don't be embarrassed about that. This is part of the course. You're being what we call like the bodhisattva. You all know about bodhisattvas, don't you? Because I remember this happening when I was a school teacher. I was a school teacher for 1 year before I became a monk. That was really important because I learned a lot about suffering being a school teacher. But anyway, there was one kid in my class, a class of 30 children. I think what year was I? I forget what age it was. It was a high school. When we got the end of the year report, they came bottom. 30th of a class of 30. And as soon as I gave that report card out to this boy, you can see he read it, and his jaw dropped. He was so disappointed. You hadn't done well, but he never believed he'd come bottom of the class. And I didn't need to be a great meditator to read his mind. He was so scared of what his parents would say when he took that report home. How he would get teased by all his friends as being stupid. He got so depressed. And being a compassionate monk, I would not let someone get depressed like that. So I went up to him and I started teaching him some Buddhism about the Bodhisattva. Because the Bodhisattva is someone who abandons their own personal happiness for the sake of others. I said, that's what you've done. You've deliberately, consciously planned this to take the bottom position of your class. So none of your friends have to suffer the penalties from the parents and the teasing from their friends. No, you've volunteered to take this terrible suffering so that no one else has to. You know, you're just a bodhisattva. You know, you're the hero of the class this year. So even though you're 30th in the class, you get the bodhisattva prize. All these other selfish kids, the other 29 kids, they just think of themselves. You actually think of others. And I always remember his expression when I explained that to him. He thought I was actually crazy. But he laughed and took away his depression. And next year someone else took the Bodhisattva prize at school. So if your kid is the bottom of the class, praise him or her. So you're this year's Bodhisattva. But no, don't hog that position. Next year, let somebody else take the Bodhisattva. Otherwise, it's not fair. That way, that when people come bottom, it doesn't go well enough. They don't get depressed. You can always make some fun out of everything in life. So when this happens, you realise that a bit of praise can really help everybody do much better in life, and especially your children. Because look, unless they really do come in as sort of the top 5% or something at school, they can always work harder. So this year they came second. Come on, that's not good enough, you've got to come first. And so imagine what that's like being a kid in our modern world, here in sort of Malaysia or other countries. They are forced, they are compelled to to work to such a high standard to get some praise. And if they don't succeed at home, they get criticism. From their teachers, they get criticism. From their friends, they get criticism. You're a dummy. And poor kids, after a while, some kids can't take that anymore. They get depressed. And it's so important for you parents, with your children, at home, to praise them as much as possible, to build them up, to give them confidence, self-esteem. And that is actually encouraging people. You can imagine that if you're playing, say, soccer, and someone shouts out about it, you're an idiot, you're a fool, my old granny could do better than that. And then you get sort of tired, you get depressed. But if you say, yeah, you can do it, come on, yes, try hard, yeah, you can do it. Positive encouragement always works much, much better. So if you really want your children to succeed, use the positive reinforcement, encouraging, praising them, not the negative stuff, because after a while that just gets you depressed. As you have got depressed in your life with some of the negative criticism which comes against you. It piles up and up and up and up, till after a while, what's the point? And we get depressed. So you can see where the cause of depression are. So again, the best way of avoiding depression, or best way of healing depression, is avoid it in the first place. But so sometimes it's happened and you are depressed and life is miserable. So what can you do about that when you're actually right in the middle of a depression, or you know someone who's in the middle of a depression? Now, one of the worst things to do is actually to make them feel bad about being depressed, because then they get depressed about being depressed. I don't want to feel depressed. Why do I feel depressed? That's called double depression, and it gets triple depression. You go down, down, down. So I tell people, if you are depressed, milk as much out of it as you possibly can. You don't have to get up early in the morning. Oh, whoopee, because I'm depressed. I can stay at home a lot of the day. Enjoy your depressions. By doing that, what you're actually saying is that you can put a positive spin on anything in life. And if you enjoy your depression, you can stay at home and watch the TV. I'm depressed, I need to watch this. You can't watch your program, I have to watch mine because I'm depressed. But after a while, when you start enjoying the depression, because this is the way out. It is the negativity which we put onto life, the lack of praise, the negative attitudes, that's where the depression keeps on coming. So sometimes if I'm tired or ill, I say, wonderful, I'm ill, what a great thing it is to be ill. Because you know when I'm ill, I give this opportunity for so many people to make good karma by giving me medicine. So I'm actually very, very cruel on you. I'm very sort of selfish and I don't get sick enough. I don't give you enough chance to make merit. So maybe I should become sick more often, so that you can actually look after me more, and thereby getting more merit. Would that be a good idea? This actually happened to one of my friends who's a monk. He went home to visit his mother in, where was it, in Toronto or somewhere. And just like this year, we've seen the sort of the pictures of Northern Europe and Canada. It's really, really a cold winter in those countries. There's really heavy snow and ice. And he actually went back to see his family during the winter time. And, I was in Chicago, sorry, not sort of Toronto. He was in Chicago. And just walking down the road, he slipped, fell badly and broke his leg. And he was taken to hospital. And it wasn't a bad break, but it was set and a big plaster cast put on him. This was quite some years ago. And as soon as his mother found out, she went straight to the hospital. And said, no, you would do, that's your son. And as soon as she came into the room and saw his son, her son, with his broken leg in plaster cast, his mother smiled. He'd never seen his mother so happy for years. He said, Mum, I've just broken my leg. What are you so happy for? Because, son, I've now got you exactly where I want. Now I can mother you and you can't run back to Thailand. And those of you who are mothers who know about caring for your kids, you understand what we mean there. So even being sick is this wonderful opportunity for allowing other people to be kind and caring for you. So don't get depressed when you're sick. Don't feel guilty about being sick, but all these other people have to take time off to visit me and take time off to sort of look after me, and doctors and nurses, and I can't do all these other things. No. If you're a sick person, you're a field of compassion for other people. They can care for you. So it's a wonderful gift you're giving if you are sick. Same as if you're depressed. It's a wonderful gift you're giving to other people to be able to care for you and visit you and cheer you up. So again, enjoy your depression.